Hello there, and welcome to Astral-Lites. Well, you know, me. And in this video, we're diving into something a bit different from the usual content that I post. A retrospective on my favorite Flash game series, Zombotron. So, I guess, get ready as we will step through the undead wastelands of Zombotron 1, 2, Time Machine, and the newly released reboot of the first game. Back in July 2011, Anton Karlov, better known as Ant Karlov, released Zombotron on Armor Games, Congregate, Newgrounds, and more. As a side note, I don't think Zombotron is running on any of these websites anymore, except Newgrounds maybe, due to, Flash being dead for a while now. But for my footage, I've used something called Flashpoint, which is a preservation app that keeps all of Flash games from the start. I'll be putting it in the description, so check it out if you wanna try out all of the Zombotron games and even maybe more Flash games that you've come across your childhood. Anyway, back on Zombotron, it is a 2D platformer zombie game in which you go through various levels, just trying to get by, shooting zombies. But anyway, let's go to the story. Well, there's not really much. The first game just kept it really simple. You're a survivor in a place overrun with zombies, and you're just trying to get out. But don't worry, as the sequels provide more plot and lore for those, who want interesting stuff, so yeah. But let's go on to the real star of the show, which is the gameplay. Zombotron shines as a 2D platform shooter. The controls are responsive? Well, mostly. I'll touch on that later, but what sets it apart from other games of the time is physics. The game introduces a dynamic environment where almost everything from barrels to boxes, wood, is both movable and breakable. This environmental interaction adds a fun layer to an already fun game. So you can drop an item on a zombie's head to save ammo, or shoot a barrel to save even more ammo. Zombotron allows you to creatively engage with any situation, and it stands out really well from other Flash video games at the time. For the shooting part, the weapons feel responsive and very punchy, and it has a very diverse set of equipment that you can access to. For the first one, of course, you always start out with a pistol. It is a very useful for precise shots at long range, and very useful against the starting parts of Zombotron until you get access to the shotgun, which is really good at close range. But one of my major gripes with the shotgun is sometimes it can't one-hit kill zombies. It's consistent, but sometimes it doesn't. But don't worry, it's a double barrel. You just pull the other trigger. For the next weapon, you would be getting access to an assault rifle, which is a very versatile version of the pistol, with better range and full auto. It's useful for whether close range or long range, and overall a really good weapon. For the next weapon you would be getting access to is a grenade launcher. As the name suggests, it launches grenades. It's perfect for blowing out cover, or even as crowd control. And the very last weapon you would get access to is a chain gun, a better version of the assault rifle, with a much better accuracy and even much better rate of fire. And the best part about it is the progression of all these weapons. You start from the pistol, get the shotgun. It works very well, where it doesn't feel like you're overpowered. On to the next part, which is enemy variety. Of course, you start with normal zombies, and then over time, you start meeting these headless ones that has a bomb. When you kill them, they can blow up, and you can use that same bomb to blow up other zombies, but be careful, you can also blow yourself up. And you start to meet these helmet wearing ones as well, which can provide a bit of difficulty trying to get headshots, but of course you can just body shot them. Another part of enemies, which are the robots, these guys hit very hard, but they're about the same health as the zombies, but it's cool to see that. Another enemy, which is called the skeletons. I mean, they are just skeletons. They're stronger than the regular zombies and robots, and some of them even have a helmet and shield, which can provide some, strategic approaches if, you want to kill them properly. Well, if you have a grenade launcher, you can just shoot one at them, removes them permanently from the world. After that, let's talk about the stages. So, there are 10 stages all in all in Zombotron 1, set in abandoned facilities, underground tunnels, and wrecked wastelands. They are very well-crafted levels with platforming, environmental challenges, and strategic combat points, which is really great. And it encourages exploration. You can uncover alternate paths that might lead to different rewards, and maybe even a secret that can help you throughout the long run. For the gameplay mechanics, you have the regular press H to heal, but let's talk about more on the checkpoint system. When you die, basically you go to the nearest part where there aren't any enemies, sometimes, and it has like a Dark Souls-like to it, a Souls-like game, where wherever your body was, you can retrieve your money that you lost. For the actual difficulty of the game, it's engaging. It has a balance of, a challenge and fun. But there are points in the game where the difficulty can spike and can prove a bit of issues, but it's not gonna ruin your overall experience. And on to my major gripes with the game. I don't know if this is a me issue or it also happens to everyone else, but the game sometimes doesn't respond to your inputs. And to fix that, you basically just have to pause the game, and when you unpause it, you can move again. And not really, a problem, but it's there. Sometimes you gain so much momentum, you fly, and it can lead to unexpected, moments where you just die, or even serve as a useful advantage to points where imagine there's an explosion, and if that happens to you, you can immediately get away from the explosion and, be safe. My final gripe is the final boss. Due to that checkpoint system, as I said, sometimes not spawning you where you're supposed to be safe, it can lead to times where you get really close to the boss and you get fucked. There is even a moment where you can't pass through the boss. You can't at all. It's like he just body blocks you, and the only way you're getting out is just dying and waiting for him to get to the other side. When we talk about the reboot, they actually fixed this, and so don't worry, we'll talk about it. An extra part before we head on to Zombotron 2 is sound design and music. It is made by Alexander Ahura, who has made from all the games, and including the 2019 reboot, from what I know. So have a listen to some of these punchy sound effects and great combat music that he has to offer. So all in all, despite my problems with the game, it's still a really fun experience, and I advise you should try it after watching this video maybe. And anyway, let us go ahead and head into Zombotron 2. Zombotron 2 starts off with our main character from the first game just getting rocked, and we get introduced to our brand new protagonist, who we will call the hero. Once again, some background. Zombotron 2 released on June 2012, developed by Still and Karloft, and published by Armor Games. So once again, let's begin with the story. After crash landing on planet Zombotron, you now play as the hero. And a difference from him from the other protagonists is he can talk. He has some dialogue from time to time with people that you meet around the planet, and the plot still remains simple, as you just want to find a brand new spaceship to get out of planet Zombotron. Some people want, might more depth to their plot, but it's fine. What we want here is the gameplay, of course. And before we enter the gameplay, let's talk about all the brand new additions to Zombotron 2. One of the brand new additions to Zombotron 2 is being able to hit critical headshots, in which you can fully destroy a zombie's head, leaving behind eyeballs. Well, that's not in the game, but you know what I mean. Another one is secrets being very useful, as some of them drop upgrades to your health, maybe to your accuracy, or maybe even to your armor. And it makes exploration a much more important thing in the second game. Speaking of exploration, certain doors are now locked by keycards, meaning you gotta go around a level and find a keycard, just like the one happening in this clip right now. And once you find that keycard, you'll be able to open the door and proceed, which is also another fun part of the exploration part of Zombotron 2. You know that fun destruction mechanic in the first game? Well, it's even amped up in the second game. Being able to destroy certain parts of the environment, creating new pathways, or maybe even revealing a secret, it's already much fun with this. And another one is it also changes how combat scenarios go, not being able to go to this specific part due to a bridge broken or whatever. Makes replayability much better. Being a sequel, we need more things to shoot at, so one of the new additions we have is this brute zombie that eats more bullets than usual and hits quite harder. I really like them as an enemy, as they can body block you and sometimes you can't even jump over them, and makes the early games quite difficult. And one of the new enemy types are these agile fucks, which are basically just spiders. There are 3 types of them. There is the normal spiders, there's the poison ones that shoot at you at a range, and there's the little ones that basically work like the swarm from Dead Space. And these are fun enemies that add more to the gameplay, and I don't mind that. And of course, one of the last enemies to be added to the sequel are these things called mutants, and from what I know, they have guns. And when bullets are being shot at you, it's pretty bad. So, these are one of the few ranged enemies that you will encounter in Zombotron 2. Almost forgot to mention, but the robots have a brand new type, in which they have grenade launchers on their arms, and it can one-hit you at the early game, so these guys are quite annoying. Due to my massive dementia, I forgot to mention that in the first game, the playtime is around 40 to 1 hour, but the second game will have a much longer playtime at around 2 hours or even more, so you'll have your fun with the gameplay, and you'll see. Zombotron 2 boasts an arsenal of real-world firearms, ranging from the iconic AK-47 to the rapid Mac-11, the precision of a Desert Eagle, and the utility of an MP5, and even a touch of unpredictability with the random inclusion of a flare gun. And of course, for the first time, they've added a melee weapon in form of the Skeleton's Knife, perfect for close encounters. Well, it is made for that, so you know what I mean. You can't carry all these weapons at once. Beginning with a 2-weapon limit, you can find a weapon belt and a weapon bag hidden in secret spots to expand your capacity by 2 more. This is great for replayability, encouraging you to experiment with various weapon combinations every time you start a new game. For the levels, they're much more expanded upon and more thought out than first game. And some new cool additions that has been added. For example, some stages let you drive a car with a mounted turret. Instead of, the one-button interaction from the other games, you can actually move this time, which is great. Coming back from the first game, there are alternate paths that can bring you to other areas. This brings a lot more replayability, letting you skip parts, find new spots, and there's a chance you might miss a secret or two. But of course, that's why you can always start a new game and see what you miss, see what the new areas were, and I think that's the cool part about it. Overall, Zombotron 2 is a sequel that elevates the original game to new heights. It takes everything you loved about the first and dials it up by 10. The bosses, once a concern, have been revamped for a more challenging and satisfying experience. However, it's not without its minor flaws. For me, there are these like instant kill gears or cogs that instant kill you even if they're like, not moving. It's a small problem, but it's worth mentioning. And with that concludes part 1 of the retrospective. Stay tuned for part 2 where we will dive into Zombotron 2 Time Machine and the 2023 reboot/remaster. I hope you enjoyed the video, if you managed to watch the whole thing. But yeah, thank you for watching this piece of shit that I made. It's my first time, and I would encourage a lot of people to do this. Not a lot of people have the courage, but I advise you should. You should have the confidence and everything. But anyway, see ya, and part 2 will be in like a week, maybe. Anyway, see ya for real.
This love was bright. They'll never see how this love came to be tonight. And when I hold you in my arms, there's nobody who knows me like you. Your beautiful mind, you speak to my soul. You have so many faces.